Okay, now we're both kind of in.
Okay,
Hello.
smile.
The waiter was looking at me, just going all over from like, "Nyeh." Pretty sure I looked weird.
Nah, you don't.
Okay,
Yay.
so grab a fork, uh, grab a knife.
Like this, right?
Yeah, like we talk like this. We have to talk because there is now music, there
Yeah.
is bugs, there are kids screaming.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't do this, then you know it's not gonna work. Let's pour the syrup in.
Yeah.
Ta-da! Now we make sure that it's very unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, today we are at a well, I don't even know. Well, I'll just link the location of the shop here. This is the coffee that because this I know
I know the name. It's
what,
called Everyone's Cafe.
but it's not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cool part.
Yeah.
They almost tried to kick us out
Mm-hmm.
because they were like, "You're not supposed to be. If since you're in Ueno, you're not supposed to. You are supposed to get a special permission to do it, and we're not showing Ueno. We're just showing us.
Mm-hmm.
So permission to show us.
Yeah.
Is there like anything that indicates that we're in Ueno?
No, but you know what? They said yes. That's why they even let us in.
Yeah.
You let them know in
Yeah,
advance.
I let
But
them know
then
in
when you
advance.
started like taking out your gears, they were like,
And after half of this shit is out,
yeah.
they go like, "Oh no, maybe you shouldn't." Like, the hell? And
Yeah.
the dude was actually pissed.
Yeah.
He looked pissed that he pissed me off.
That's true.
Like,
I'm here to save your mood.
thank you. I needed that. I was starting to get pissed. Anyway, so let's do the kampai first.
Kampai.
Kampai, papang,
Bye.
kichang, tang, tung,
Itadakimasu.
tung. Yep.
Mm.
The coffee is basically milk. So a hint of coffee in it.
Yeah.
And it's not so bad, but I would not recommend this. I'm sorry about this whole, restaurant review, cafe review in the beginning, but in the end, it's still called Untitled Thoughts over coffee.
Yep.
Yep. So, okay,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm doing good. In this heat, surprisingly
Yeah,
good.
it's so I don't know when this podcast is going to be out, but today is the 23rd of July.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be out in August probably, since I have a few ones already planned out for
Oh,
every week
really?
until then. Were you planning on making this available sooner?
No,
Did you want to
I
make it? Okay, I'm
take your
glad.
time. I will be in the Philippines looking
Really?
forward to it in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that picture or that video you posted about the Philippines, that
Oh
lake,
yeah, you
that
asked
looks
me.
so good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was an underrated it's hidden.
How come no million influencers were in that background?
I don't,
That looks like
I
a
don't
spot that is
know.
gonna be, filled of influencers and stuff like
I
that,
know, I know.
right?
But in the Philippines, it's like left and right. Like there's just beautiful like rivers, waterfalls area.
Okay.
So that's what I really love about there. Like you can
Philippines.
just indulge in nature like anytime you want basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm meeting people from all over the world right now, and
Yeah.
I think I need to plan on like some international trip visiting all of these countries because every
Yeah.
time I speak to someone, they're like, "Okay, that place looks. We live in that place, and that place looks great, and then that place looks this, like this, like that," and I'm like,
You should.
I really want to visit.
Yeah.
So far, Thailand,
Mm.
Philippines.
Yeah.
On another podcast, it was Ireland,
Ooh.
and let's see what other France,
Ooh,
France.
nice.
So Italy.
You're gonna be all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this works out and I get to actually visit visit these countries for a
It's not
living.
gonna be cafes around Tokyo
Yeah,
anymore.
it's gonna be cafes all around the world.
Yeah.
We can only dream.
You can,
Yeah.
that's the goal. We're trying to escape the, employment like slavery. So yeah, we should be all over the world
I feel like
exploring.
I'm a little bit ungrateful
I know, me
because
too.
the company really treats me well. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
but I still want to do my own thing, kind of thing. Like I don't know. The guy, I think the guy is on the phone
Yeah.
calling someone because he
You know
was on
what?
the phone looking at me.
If they have a problem, you can just show them like your
Yeah,
podcast
I
and
know,
then
right?
tell
Like
them
this is
like,
what I do. But anyways, whatever. Let's
yeah, they're just
just.
very like um they have an eyesore when it comes to like gears, I think. Like,
I guess
yeah. They want like low budget only, like if they're like,
on their phone.
yeah,
They
on the
want to. I mean,
phone.
honest. This is basically a phone. Just the mics are out.
Yeah.
But this is. Anyways, we're going back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to me about the Philippines.
Philippines.
Yes. What do you? What, so you said like you were here for 12 years, right?
Yeah, almost.
So that's basically the
Half of
same
my life.
time. You're 24.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Turning 25 next month.
Turning 40. Oh, basically, we're
Ooh.
both born in
Libras.
September, Libras. We just said that we really don't believe in this shit,
Mm-hmm.
but but
But we're
it's
like twinning.
yeah, we're like Libras.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, stop. Just want to make sure that these things are on. Okay,
Is it?
it is on. Just making sure.
I'm gonna have a
Cause
taste of
yeah,
this
please do.
berries.
Please do. Why is this thing not going back? It's like the world is trying to fuck me up today. Anyways, yeah. How does it taste?
It's good. The
Okay.
berry is berrying.
The berry is burying.
That's kind
Yeah.
of a trend lately. The hair is
The hair is
herring.
herring.
Yeah, the
The
heat
math ain't
is,
mathing.
yeah.
The math ain't mathing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So tell me a little bit. So we got to know through a mutual friend. Know to know each other through a mutual friend, Brandon,
Yeah,
right?
Brandon.
And that day I remember it was very cool. We were shooting in a studio kind of like environment.
Oh
That was the first time I
yeah.
meet you, and you're on that video. Yes,
Yes.
right. So I remember like that's
Mm-hmm.
where we met each other. But well, and we're gonna talk about that for a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. But talk to me a little bit about your entrepreneurship, because we
Oh.
were just talking about like how we're trying to get out of the corporate life and company life and trying to do our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So why did you? And it's a silly question, but why did you start to do this?
Why is because a lot of people really encouraged me to do it, and also because it's a dream of mine to have my own business, because like my family, like we're all like family of like businessmen and women. So yeah, I really admired my mom like having her own business at such a young age, you
What
know.
What does she do?
Well, she owned clubs and pubs, and she's
That's good
actually,
business, isn't it?
yeah, she's one of the youngest in our city in Shizuoka to like start her own pub. And yeah,
Okay,
so yeah, I really admired her,
nice.
coming from, because she's super young, like she had me at 16, and
She had you at 16.
Mhm.
Hold on, she's my age.
Yeah, you're 40, right?
Yeah.
Oh
How
yeah,
old is she?
40. Mm-hmm.
I'm
You're
basically
basically my dad.
interviewing my daughter. You know, I interviewed. God damn it!
No, you.
I interviewed Brilliant before you.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the episode before you.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about the same thing that he, like, I'm his father's age.
Yeah.
And now I'm basically interviewing my daughter.
Yeah.
God damn.
Brandon sent me this meme, like 30-year-old hanging out with 20, like Voldemort. Not
Honestly,
Voldemort. The other guy.
I don't know. Like, but here's the thing. Like, dealing with people, like, even if they're young, like, at least, legal age,
Mm.
and they're actually sophisticated. So they're not just,
Mm.
young and dumb, even
Mm-hmm.
though it's fine to be young and dumb. Being dumb, you better be young when you're dumb.
Yeah.
Don't be an old dumb guy or woman or girl or whatever. Like it's gonna suck,
I know. I
right?
really enjoy talking to older people, to be honest. I mean, like to like just
I mean, it's nice, right? You
yeah.
learn from people experiences through just talking to them.
Mm,
I have, it's not my, I mean, it's basically my podcast. I have a podcast that I'm doing for my company,
mm,
and it's called All Pulp No Fiction.
mm,
Uh, I'm basically interviewing professors and
mm.
researchers from all around the world.
That's so cool.
And it's so cool because you're just talking to people who are very, very smart and they just share the information with you.
Yeah.
So if
See.
I was young, I would also do this kind of talk to older people, try not to
Yeah.
learn from their experiences, or at least not to repeat their mistakes,
Yeah.
right?
Just become a sponge, and
Yeah.
um, just gather all the learnings and values
Hmm.
that they can offer.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
going back into, the business that you're,
Yeah.
interested in, and like after realizing that I'm as old as your mom and getting a little depression on the way. So we were talking about you, starting your own business and,
Mm-hmm.
the inspiration behind that.
Yeah.
So you're doing one of the best brownies that I've ever had,
Thank you.
right? And that's not just me. I bought some. I gave them to my wife and kids, and they all also loved it. So we devoured it very quickly.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought that was out of excitement,
No, no, no. That was a bug.
Yeah,
That was a
that was
bug.
a bug.
That was a bug. So yeah,
Thank you.
what? How did you decide on taking this path? Like, what? Many people would try different things, right? What made you
Mm.
choose this one?
Well, basically, it started from a point in my life where I had a lot of free time and I wanted to bake and just basically do what I'm doing now, just try as many things as I can. So that's what I did. I baked cookies, I baked cakes, and then I stumbled upon a recipe for brownies. And yeah,
Is it
first,
is it a secret recipe?
definitely, like,
Definitely.
yeah, like I could,
Does it run in the family or like?
no, no,
Oh, you got it
it'll
from
start
someone?
from me.
Oh
Oh,
my God!
because
Nice.
I actually, um, the ingredients is already like mine, like
Oh, so you did
I
not
worked.
really just get it.
Yeah, I worked on it for 6 months. I was like using three different types of chocolates mixed together and something like that. But it's very simple, but
Oh.
I don't know.
No, but yeah, obviously, like you should actually, what do you call that? Make a patent about it.
Oh,
I mean, if it's, but then you have to make your own chocolate,
yeah, that's true.
right?
Um, yeah, I had a lot of free time,
Uh-huh.
and at first I was just baking for my mom, and she loved it, and she shared it to her friends. It's actually funny because my first how do you say it? Market customer.
Is your mom's friends?
Yeah, my mom's friends and the people the women who worked in pubs, and these women work in the factory in the morning. Basically
Oh,
the
right.
at night it's just their part time, but their full time job is at in the factory. So
Uh-huh.
they really like to munch on something, and
Oh.
they got addicted to the brownies basically, and they kept asking me to bake it, and I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna bake this much, I might as well.
Make it a business.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I definitely went um, through a hard time, like experimenting, like coffee, and I didn't know anything about baking, so I had to learn it like from
Hmm.
scratch until I found a recipe that I've stuck with for almost 3 years now, actually. Yeah,
And you can make it now consistent, taste the same every single time,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
mm,
Then now you got a thing, really nice.
yeah.
Um.
And funny story
Yep.
actually. So I moved here last year, right?
Yeah.
And of course I was busy with like adjusting and to a new place, new job, and
Hmm.
the first person who tried my brownies here in Tokyo, like from our group of friends, is actually Brandon.
Oh.
And because we had a collab, I baked brownies and I gave him brownies. I was like, like for you, like as a gift. And
Nice.
then he was like, "Are you like, are you selling
Are you
this?"
selling?
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, actually, but
I actually
yeah,
do.
that's a gift."
Oh.
And yeah, he was like, "These are like the best. Like I would pay like so much money for this." And I was like, "Actually, I'm just selling it for 500 yen." And he was like, "What?" And then he was like, "No way, no way."
I need some.
And then yeah, and then for months and months, like since we started like as friends, um, he kept encouraging me like, "You know what? Don't downplay yourself and stuff." And when I came here in Tokyo, I wasn't planning on starting yet, but he was the one who pushed me. He was like, "You know what? It's time. But how about change your mindset and, like actually like sell your value like in the like the right value." And yeah, he's actually the one who encouraged me to start the business here in the first place. And like I always mention it to people because I'm just very grateful for that. Because if I didn't have that push, I wouldn't even have started this journey of mine here. And I didn't know that people would even want to pay what 1,000 yen for brownies. And it's crazy
Again,
how.
like you said it, like it's not just brownies. Like, cause I think brownies you can get them for 100 yen from a supermarket, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's the value that you bring behind it. It's really the texture, the
Mm,
val. Like it's really good. I
mm,
mean, yeah, it's and especially at this stage of your career of the business, people who are buying are
mm.
really people who appreciate you
Oh.
and people who really like these brownies. So just keep on doing your thing and just to I as I as you were saying, you met Brandon first before you moved to Tokyo.
Yeah.
Really? So you were still living in Shizuoka and
Yeah.
you met
Because
him, gave him brownies.
yeah, we had a common friend who
Oh,
lived in Nagoya actually. I don't know how this happened,
yeah.
but I had a it's very very distant like how we even,
Mm,
you know, mutual friends. It's very distant. But
mm.
um I just followed him through my friend from Nagoya who's also a photographer.
Uh-huh.
Because I saw his reels and connected from there. And
I
he
see.
asked me to do a collab. He's actually, you know what, Brandon is just the pit, not pit, the like the
Tip.
top, the tip. Yeah, um,
Yeah.
like he's the first photographer that I collabed with
Okay.
actually.
Uh-huh.
So he didn't know that I lived in Shizuoka because I was also always coming to Tokyo, and so he thought I lived here. And he was
Okay.
like, "A model canceled, and do you want to join?" And I said, "Sure." The next morning, I was first train. I went to Tokyo, Yokohama, and
Oh.
then I was like, "Oh, so I traveled for an hour," because he was asking me, and he was like, "No way." I didn't know that you lived all the way from
Yeah,
Shizuoka.
right? So now that you so when you were in Shizuoka,
Mm.
that was how many years ago? Like that was when did you move to Tokyo?
Last year,
Last year.
April.
And what was the process of moving, changing houses, finding a job, stuff like that? Was it easy?
It wasn't as easy as I thought because first of all, it's a lot of risk. It was my first time to move out, and to live alone, so I was very much paranoid if I'm gonna be homeless in a month or something. But I'm
Yeah.
very grateful for my parents because they're really supportive,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, and especially my mom is she's very protective. So like I told her that I have an opportunity, a job opportunity, and I want to change my career. I want to. This is good for me, you
So
know.
what were you doing before?
I was working at an office job that basically like underpaid, like just part time, and I did that for 3 years,
Mm.
almost four. Um, and yeah,
And
I
you don't did not enjoy it.
yeah, because I was all alone in an office by myself. I was watching 4 movies in a day and like watching shows, finishing shows like in a day because I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't excelling in anything. I wasn't using Japanese, wasn't using English. So basically, I
What
just
what
felt that.
what was this job, Lucky, that makes you watch movies during the job?
Do you want to apply?
Yeah. No.
Basically, I was an assistant for an engineer in
Oh,
a
okay.
company.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it was just me and him, but he was always out and about. So I was alone, basically, in
Oh.
an office. So that was a very sad phase of my life. Like I didn't have
And
any social
especially at that
life, and
age, right? Like that's the
yeah,
age where you build skills, where you learn stuff, right? So you
yes,
don't want to just waste your time just sitting behind a desk,
yeah,
right?
and it wasn't also paying well. So I told myself like, you know what, I gotta do something with my life. So, but the next step wasn't that easy because
Mm.
I decided to work at a factory. And it was like, I was like screwing, like using the drill and everything, like doing the heavy work. I did that for 5 months, but I had one goal. I wanted to move out, and this was good money. So I really worked hard. And yeah, you know, still, my parents were there and they still supported me. And I'm
Just a
thankful for
question,
that.
if I may ask. When did were you born here?
No,
No.
Philippines.
So you and your family moved when you were younger here.
Yes, I was actually the last person in the family to
Be
last
born
member in the family to move to Japan. They wanted me to come here, finish my elementary um,
education.
education first, and then you know move here before I'm an adult because that would be better, like in terms of learning Japanese. You know.
So you started middle school here.
Yes.
How was that experience? Because I know that middle school here is not easy.
Mm. I have a I have a fair share of that
It
experience.
was not
It's
easy,
not
right?
easy at all. Um, well, I started here when I was sixth grade, actually,
Okay.
sixth grade,
Hmm.
because my mom couldn't wait anymore, and yeah, um, yeah, there was bullying. There was, you know, I'm actually over the bullying now. Like everyone's experienced bullying, and that sucks. But for foreigners, what I'm most sad about is just I feel like I'm very much behind in terms of my education because I arrived here, and during that 1 year, sixth grade, I focused on like hiragana, katakana, kanji. I
Yeah.
never participated in the class. So
Mm.
I was like missing out on a year learning chemistry, math,
Mm.
history,
Yeah.
And then I feel like I'm always like trying
Catching
to
up with
yeah,
them,
trying
trying
to
to
keep
catch
up,
up with
yeah,
them.
with
Yeah.
everyone. And yeah, that's sad, you know.
My daughter is actually, so I think she joined here. So now she's in her first year of middle school.
Mhm.
We were here for like now her fifth year now, or
Mhm.
fourth year. So she basically got here and she was in her third grade, I'd say, right?
Mhm.
So third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and now, yeah, basically, right?
Mhm.
And it was not easy for her. And even though she spent all these years now, recently her grades were not so great.
Mhm.
So yesterday I went to see the teacher, and it looks like again it's because of language.
Yeah.
So even though you spend a long time here, like you still don't learn everything about the language.
Yeah.
And at school, like that's very difficult. So kudos for finishing. that's uh, that's number one.
Mhm.
And number two, like, what would you, if you could do it all over again? What would you do? Is there a thing that you could have done better to make it work?
Um, I guess to just keep trying hard because I have my own faults as well on my end
Mm.
because I was so focused on making up for what I'm missing out. So when I had friends, Filipino friends, I was so happy to be with them.
Mm.
So I wasn't also really focused on learning, like trying hard so much because like they kind of tolerated me like not knowing anything, like not passing the
Also, you were
exams.
a kid too, though. Like you
Yeah,
were a kid,
yeah. So
so
I was like,
you needed to have
oh,
fun too, right?
I failed. You know what?
Yeah.
I never passed any tests in Japan. Like at school? No, I never passed.
During all these years, or
Yeah,
just like during the first years?
during all these years, I might have tried like for when I was Coco, senior high school because we couldn't level up
Yeah.
if you fail. But I had to go back to the Philippines, so it didn't even really matter.
Why'd you
But
have to go to the Philippines?
yeah,
What the hell?
well,
Like,
well,
she's like, but I had to go to
uh,
the Philippines. Where did that come from? What happened?
uh, basically, I got kicked out of the house at 16 and I decided to finish my studies in the Philippines because I was being stubborn. I was like, you
Hold on,
kicked
hold on,
me
hold
out,
on.
I'm not going
Why
back.
did you get kicked out? Can
uh
you share this info or not?
I had an argument with my dad,
Okay.
and yeah,
He
and
was
it
like,
would
get out.
yeah, he was like, yeah, go back.
Ah,
But I was very stubborn. I said, I'm not going back if, like my feelings are not going to be considered. And, he's Japanese, so he's not very like
oh, your
vocal and
father is
everything.
Japanese?
Stepfather.
Stepfather.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's actually funny, but we're okay now. Like, very, very much okay. But
Yeah.
I don't really hide this information. Like, pretty much all of my friends know this. But
Okay, sorry that
yeah,
you're sharing this. It's okay that it's
not
on the
at all.
podcast.
I'm like an open book. It's
Okay.
fine. I
Yeah.
don't mind. But yeah,
Hmm.
where was I? I'm like going
You
in
went,
circles and
yeah.
circles. I'm
You
like
went back to
from
the
high
Philippines
school.
and then, yeah.
Yeah. So because for high school, junior high school,
Hmm.
it's different for a foreigner, and I guess it's different from my school because they didn't really focus on me passing any test. They just wanted to find a senior high school that would accept me because I know English. That's my strong
Suit.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't pass any exams like Japanese, history, math, but I did ace the English because of course their
Because,
English
yeah,
level is, yeah,
it's very
it's
low.
cool. Yeah. So yeah, basically if I wanted to redo everything, just I guess
So when you
try
went
harder.
back to the Philippines, so you graduated high school in the Philippines,
Mhm. Mm. Senior high school.
senior high. So basically your last year.
Hmm.
Uh, how was that?
It was fun. It was the best.
What?
It was the best.
But
S-
everything was different, wasn't it? Like
yeah,
all the
but
subjects were different. Everything basically is different.
it was a struggle for me to keep up again because everything was in English.
Yeah,
So,
that's what
like,
I'm
I
saying.
never learned chemistry. I never
Exactly.
learned math. They were all in Japanese.
Yes.
So, that's when I felt like I was very much behind. So, again, I focused on just passing. My parents really never pushed me to like ace the exams. You have to do this much.
Yeah.
They weren't strict at all. As long as you don't fail, you're fine. As long as you don't have like red marks on your report card, you're fine. So, yeah, I just did my best, what I can,
Yeah.
I guess. And I was very friendly with my teachers, and they all liked me. So, honestly, I have so much respect for all my math teachers because I'm terrible at math. Not just because didn't learn shit in
Japan.
math or
Yeah.
Japan or in English, but I'm just terrible with numbers. But there, I try to be my best, like friendliest self, and just charm them to pass me. And they're all I love my math teachers. Like they're all my favorite teachers
So
because
if you're not good at math, at least be charming. That's
yes,
one point of
like
advice, I guess.
I was the student who would walk the teacher building to building, like carrying their stuff. Like, do you need help? And then I would walk them, and then I would like talk to them, chat with them, and stuff. So that if I fail, they're gonna be like, you know what?
Yeah,
Pass.
just one
Yeah,
more mark would,
she's
yeah.
gonna be out of here anytime soon anyway. You know, I'm never a studious person. So that's what
You
I'm
know,
gonna
it's
say.
actually funny. So
Mm,
during my university days
mm,
when I was an undergrad, so there were these kinds of professors.
mm,
Well, they were not professors, like they were just, teachers. Like they didn't have professorship, but they were like basically who are teaching us,
mm.
So assistant professors, associate professors.
Yeah.
And there are ones who are known to actually melt in front of female students for some reason.
Oh, really?
And that sucks, really. But it helps all the other students
Mm.
because they used to send them to them to get tips on the exams
Mm-hmm.
and
Sorry.
what actually, they wouldn't just give them the exams,
Yeah.
but they would tell them what to study
Mm.
and what to concentrate on. It's basically a very good tip for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to just like, okay, girls, go get us some info. And
You know what?
it worked.
My male professors, math professors,
Yeah.
they were very like they weren't like that. They weren't friendly.
They
I
weren't
was just
friendly.
very
Like good in
they were
showing them that
like
you're a good person.
yeah, they were like nerds. Like they weren't like that like
Yeah.
you know like very like talkative, but um I was very much friendly with my women professors. I was like, "Hi ma'am," you know.
For some reason,
We find
for
ways.
some reason,
Mm.
I was always good with my female like teachers. Like
Ah.
they were always kind to me, and I never gave them a reason that they would hate me, which is a
Mm-mm.
good thing too, right? But yeah, I think I also had a good relationship with my male professors, for example. But for
Mm.
some reason, like I really think female professors are a lot nicer.
Mm.
Well, obviously, because they're maybe I don't know if this is sexist to say, but I think females are generally nicer than males, generally speaking.
Mm.
But yeah, that's what happened, I guess.
Yeah. But I guess moral of the story is I'm not because of what I went through. I'm not book smart. You know, because I'm very much behind, but I am
Street smart,
street smart.
and that works too.
Yeah.
And actually, many people who are really book smart do not end up working very well in real life. Because if you want to
That's what
be,
they
if
say.
you want to survive in real life, you need to have other skills than just studying, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a dentist, right? And I was listening to a dental podcast.
Mm.
And in there, they were like, how come that the people who have the best careers after graduating are not the smartest during school? So you got these people who ace exams and then graduate and kind of either like kind of make it like kind of okay
Yeah.
or just struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the basically the players and the people who just kind of winged it.
Yeah.
And after graduating school, they basically their career kind of takes off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know the reason?
I guess they just know how to charm everyone.
That's it. They got people skills.
Mm-hmm.
People skills is really important if you're going to start a career in which you're dealing with people.
Yeah.
So dentistry, basically, you're dealing with patients. You're dealing with people. So they need convincing. They need to talk to you and basically like what you're saying
Mm-hmm.
in order to actually accept the treatments that you're offering.
Yeah.
And if you're just gonna nerd them out,
Mm-hmm.
they're not gonna be like, no, thank you, and they will refuse your stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if if you have a good people skill, then you could actually make it work. And this is exactly what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Being book smart is different from being street smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yep. So going back to your modeling,
Oh, modeling.
why
Interesting.
did you decide to model?
To model? I don't know. Like, I didn't really have a goal to, like, oh, I want to be a model. You know, I just started doing it for fun, and
You
that's
realize you look good on in
no, no,
pictures.
no. Honestly, no. Most of the time, I'm very much like, I'm my worst critic.
Critic,
You
yeah.
know, like it's very true. Yeah, I'm gonna say it this the same thing for everything that I do. I just do everything for fun. And it's just like, okay, let's try this, let's try that, you know.
Yeah.
But like modeling, I had fun like working with you guys. My first studio shoot was when I met you. First shoot was with Brandon. And yeah, what made me pursue it is because I was lucky enough to be a part of a really good and encouraging
What?
and a,
Oh, so there's a
a
mouse.
little friend.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't say a friend.
from the zoo.
I don't like these guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be a part of a community that's like just really amazing people, talented people, very encouraging, and like that's what made me keep going
But
because
I mean, it's nice to be around creative people,
yeah,
don't you think? Like, just the energy.
yeah,
So I have different, and tell me if you have the same thing, because I
mm-hmm,
think many people do this.
mm,
They have different kinds of groups of friends,
yeah,
and then some groups are not as fun as the other groups.
mm,
I like my creative friend group because it's always the vibe is always nice. I also like my gaming group
mm,
because also the vibe is just laughing, trying to beat each other,
mm,
and just it's nice.
yeah,
And then you got the dental medical kind of group, and
yeah,
the vibe sucks
uh,
because it's
yeah,
I don't know. It's like they forget to have fun. I guess
mm,
all they discuss is work related and science related, and I'm not saying that science could not be fun,
mm-hmm,
but it's always you have to have fun, right? You
yeah,
have to discuss stuff that is fun.
yeah.
That doesn't happen with
It's like
my particular group of friends.
their world revolves around
Work.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
know.
think you need to have separate lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a good kind of schizophrenia. you know? Yeah.
Gotta have different personalities.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you have this kind of thing or no? Or all your friends are basically creative?
Yeah.
Really?
Even with the brownies, like my
I'm
friends are
so jealous.
basically, yeah, my friends are basically like the people who I meet at photo walks and stuff.
Okay.
Like, you know, although recently it's been expanding,
Mm-hmm.
which is very nice, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
But in terms of work, I don't really, I, I don't, I'm the most like, how do you say it? Unreliable and just I'm just there. I clock in and I clock out. You know, like I do my
You're
job.
really not interested
Yeah,
in that.
I
Yeah.
do my job. I like my job.
Hmm.
I like working with kids, and I'm very grateful.
So what do you do now?
Oh
If
wow, nice intro.
yeah,
I'm actually a teacher. I'm a kindergarten teacher.
kindergarten teacher.
Yes. So yeah, but I don't really, you know, I don't even think about work. Like I just clock in, do my job, and then clock out. So yeah, I can't.
And think about clocking out while you're working.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's the routine. But
Mm.
yeah, creative friends, they're basically, I mean, I am still connected with my friends in the Philippines, and yeah,
And
um
just, I'm sorry to drift off a little bit.
mhm.
How does it feel to have two separate lives, one in the Philippines and one in Japan? Does it, making friends, for example, moving from the Philippines, were you able to make good friends in Japan, like Japanese friends, for example? Because I know it's a bit difficult for elder people to make friends, but was it
Mm.
easy for you as a kid to make friends or so, or was it difficult? How was how's the
In
whole thing going?
First of all, I think that that's a very common struggle for us, to find friends, to like fit in a circle, to even find a circle that we, can fit in. But for me, my experience
Is
is
that like generally speaking, or in Japan, or like
in Japan.
in Japan?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I guess in general, yeah, for
But in
like in
general
other
too,
countries,
probably. But
yeah.
I think in Japan makes it a bit, takes it a bit a step further, maybe
Yeah,
a little bit,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my experience is different because when I first came here,
Mm.
um, my only goal for years and years was to go back to the Philippines because all my friends are there. I have like four friends in Japan who are Filipinos too. I It was a struggle for me to find friends here in Japan because, um, specifically Japanese people, because it's just different. Um,
Were
like
you
our
trying to make friends, or
I
just like you just
yeah
thought it was like, I
I
this is not
am.
working?
I did. But also, I guess I was a kid as well, and I had many traumas from, interacting with kids my age. And,
Traumas like how?
I guess getting
In the
bullied
beginning,
in
you said
school.
bullied, right? Like, what do you mean
Yeah.
by bullied? Like, what was going on?
Because I came here and the only words I know is gomen nasai and ohayo. And
Then they started being mean to you.
I guess I just didn't get lucky. I had a classmate who he was not mentally well, and he was a bully. And um, yeah, uh,
Did you talk to your parents about it?
yeah, but
Did they try to do anything?
my parents didn't really understand because they just told me like, oh, because you're new, that's why like they don't understand you. And I was like, this is for
This is
real.
different.
Yeah, like this is legit bullying. But yeah, they didn't really understand. But I survived. That's why I was always like on a survival mode, to find friends, to find my circle, or in my studies. So I had one goal, to go back because all my friends are there, and I love the school in the Philippines. It's just so much fun. It's not about like
Tests?
Japan, like just all about studying. In the Philippines, it's fun. Like high school is one of the
Really?
funnest, yeah, experience that you can have. Like, you know, just be a kid, just be a teenager. It's really fun. And I wanted that.
Mm.
And yeah, for the longest time, I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any friends until I started coming to Tokyo, to be honest. I put
Really?
myself out there during COVID. It was so fun. Um,
What do you
because I
mean?
actually discovered this whole new world. I started coming to Tokyo for dance class. I went to Shibuya, like just walking around, and I didn't meet people, but well, I met people in dance class, but it started there, and I was like, wait a minute,
What was I
I
doing?
am yeah, I am earning money, but I'm saving all this money just to go back to the Philippines. And I didn't know that there there are like these possibilities right in front of me. Like that's where I took advantage of the good parts in Japan,
Oh, okay.
like the fun part in
Yeah.
Japan. So
Yeah, when you said Shizuoka, I was like, what is in Shizuoka? Other than like Fuji Mountain,
yeah, like
I
every day you
guess.
see beautiful Fuji. It's so funny here in Tokyo. They're like, "Oh, I see the little tip," and then
Uh,
they're like, "Whoa, Fuji," and I'm like,
No, that's not
I
Fuji.
go out in my balcony and I see Fuji. It's so funny here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I started loving my independence, my, financially and as an adult. That's where I grew and and just blossomed, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, you're doing great. Obviously, you said you're 24, 3, 4,
24.
24 right now, or
Yes.
like this September,
Yes.
right? So, yeah, I mean, starting your own business at this age is basically great because you still, this is where you're learning, right?
Mm.
And you're just gonna be keep getting better. So, good luck with that. Honestly,
Thank you.
you're gonna kill it. So, any last tips that we can tell them or last words? Not last words, since
Let's
hopefully we're not dying. At least
hopefully we still
not
have
yet.
another
Not
episode.
yet, right? We have our birthdays coming, so
Yeah.
it would be very ironic if one of us doesn't make it till
They're
the
like,
next
you know
birthday.
what? Their last words are actually in their
They were
podcast.
yeah, but no, for real though. Like for somebody, for example, somebody who's coming to Japan, somebody who moved to Japan and is trying to do their own thing, what would be the one advice you give to them, other than buckle up?
Buckle up. um, just put yourself out there and just be kind to people. And find your circle that you're going to be comfortable in, and treasure the friends that you're going to find along the way, and be nice to people, and
Be nice to
eventually,
people. Yep.
yeah, and just wing it, like on the
Just
education
swing
part,
it.
just like,
Really? No, stop it. You're
no,
gonna
no, no,
destroy
no.
so many people's
I'm
future over
sorry.
here.
For
Just
the
wing it.
for the street smart people out there, just, you know,
It's gonna
keep
be fine.
yeah, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's not all about the grades.
No.
Yeah,
But stay in school, kids.
stay in school.
Yeah. And try to make it at school. If it works, perfect. If it doesn't, you'll find something else.
Yeah, there's nothing like, keep learning. Like, just be a sponge.
That's a great
Yeah,
thing.
never stop learning, like, when it comes to like school or like in the outside world. Like,
Yeah.
just keep learning. Be a sponge. Like, keep.
Buckle up and be a sponge. Keep learning.
Yeah.
Okay then. Bye. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.